Well, we got 153374! 153374!
One's got slower. 12:20, Wednesday the 23rd of April 2025 for the 12:19 East Midlands Railway service from Leicester to Lincoln Central, which then moves through to Peterborough. We have an extra train this lunchtime that's over 2 hours, nearly 4 hours late. And that one's being the fuel train that was due at 8:58, but is currently 243 minutes late. It left the origin 252 minutes late at 11:14. It's only just now in the Cherry Willingham area. So theoretically, that could be our next train to then push it ahead of the stopper, because the stopper calls everywhere as far as Newark anyway. So the next point the freight train would catch up would be around Loudham. That was an event. Right, so freight train's routed through Central already, but it's nowhere near. And yeah, he's coming straight through the loop, so he's the next train then. But he's still miles away from the city centre. All the barriers down there have been closed for it. That signal, as we know, is not far from the back of Crofton Road. So he's not even really in the city yet, and they've already routed him through. If for some bizarre reason we was then routed for it as well, we'd be waiting 12 minutes for it, because that's roughly how far away it currently is. It's only 532. Lincoln Central. Nah, it's definitely that team that can't do anything right. It's only just left the city centre. Half past 12 for the delayed 08:58 service from Lindsay to Kingsbury, which is expected to pass in approximately 6 minutes. Because he's got 3 minutes on his timing till he gets to Bootham Junction, the previous junction along. He's literally only just now past the signalling centre, which is miles away. The current status, there, not moved, but we're both cleared for it. This is going to be a long one for a long train, and no one's going to like it long. No passing Bootham Junction slowly, because it's coming over 30 ESR still into a 30 to then go up to 50 once he's past Bootham Junction. So he's still 5 minutes away, running 218 minutes late. Bugger it whilst I'm going to see what the problem were, whether it was waiting for the locomotive or something whilst it was going. The locomotive arrived at Lindsay Oil Refinery at 06:25, but the load didn't leave till 11:15. So it was sat for 4 and a bit hours pretty much doing nothing because its load wasn't sorted. So it had a driver. There was an issue in the yard. This ain't gonna help traffic either, because there's been a reconfiguration of the road junction over where Tritton Road meets Dixon Street and Valentine Retail Park in preparation for the railway flyover next to the Barclays administration office, which is then going to mean there's 2 major junctions almost adjacent to each other. So if you imagine the stretch from just beyond Oak Farm, where you've got that pedestrian crossing, about a half a mile down the road you've then got 2 more to go a quarter mile down for another pedestrian junction at Valentine Retail Park. The place coming to a fucking standstill. We're routing trains too early and we're stopping all the traffic at 16 different red lights after each other. Coming up in the next few days, there'll be a place you never thought you'd probably see me be. But it means I can bring in the phrase. I saw him at an all. Long-termers will probably know the missing place. Specifically Gareth, he might know the place. Because it came from where a certain screen recorder met H.H. Weetabix. And then blabbed about it for about 5 years. So now, he's still recording Lego games with children. He's in his mid-20s at this point. Train just past Skellingthorpe Road now, a few minutes away. Moving down for 3, 2, 1, 4 minutes. Too far behind this is a local stopping passenger train. So by the time this makes it to Newark, he'll be stopped anyway waiting for a path across to Newark Castle, which doesn't mean the passenger train's right behind him at Collingham at that point. It makes it stop and go right the way from Newark to Nottingham, where this will hog a platform for a driver change. Right, it's thrown Bootham up now anyway. Here we are. Over 5 minutes later. 5.5 of them. '7817. Mostly empty as well. That's supposed to be fully laden. £12.40 for the 12.43s Midlands Railway service from Lincoln Central to Leicester. Just know got to go right the way behind that last train, which pretty much had nothing actually on it because it sounded pretty empty. Right the way through to Nottingham before it will then lose it. As the freight train then fucks off via Castle Doddington, and this fucks off straight via Ratcliffe Power Station, which is awaiting a demolition notice. This will probably be one of the shorter closures here today as well, given the middle one took forever. Why is it yesterday's freight train, like 2 miles up the line, and today's one both take 6 minutes to appear and go through? And why was Mike 57 today routed through the city long before it got there? I took this screenshot at 12:24 from the Trackside beta. You can see at this point that previous train wasn't even in the city. He was routed straight the way through and out and up to here. That's inexcusable. Because, as that one was taken at 12:24, it passed the city at 12:28. And it was still routed through long before that screenshot. So you had at least 10 minutes routing through the city for no reason at all. They didn't exactly keep it on the move because it stopped everything else in the process. Now imagine both of those barriers were still roads. Exactly. Added to our normal traffic problems, you would have got nowhere. Like this and Skellingthorpe are bad when the 46 is blocked, but now you've also got the heap of congestion at Valentine to contend with as well. We're already barely fucking moving at more than 4.5 miles an hour at the best of times. And that's your average. You can walk just a bit quicker if you've got big long legs. Because there you can average 5. Train approaching. Still took 3 minutes for this bastard though. If you can't see because of this shit fence. Bring back the old one that was lower. On 7202. For Leicester.